here with us to discuss the races and the highlights, our political analyst, John Dadian. Thanks for being with us
Good
this
morning.
Thank you. Let's first ask you, what do you think voter turnout's going to be like on Tuesday?
Well, the official registrar is predicting in the 30s, mid-30s. I think it's going to be under 30% actually. And, you know, that seems low, but again, this is an off-year election. It's a primary. President's not on the ballot, so that wouldn't surprise me. I don't think it's going to be over 30.
What do you think that turnout means for the gubernatorial race?
Not much, because this is kind of a sleeper race. Clearly, Jerry Brown's a juggernaut. Two main Republicans are fighting. Because of our new open primary system, the top two, the Republicans really are the ones. Here's the interesting part about the so-called governor race and all the statewide ballots. Really, the Attorney General and our Lieutenant Governor, what they're really doing, because they're pretty secure, they're running for governor 4 years from now. They've already started raising cash, et cetera. So that's really what's going on statewide.
So it's against, right now, we're going to see Jerry Brown versus Tim Donnelly, with the Republican being Tim Donnelly.
No, Neil Kashkari is giving him a good run for the money. Neil Kashkari and Tim Donnelly are the two Republicans,
right.
So we don't know which one of them will be against Jerry Brown.
But you think Kashkari is the one who pulls it out?
No, I wouldn't go as far as say that.
Well, I mean, in terms of the two Republicans.
No, I think it's probably Donnelly.
That's what I read this morning, Donnelly.
Kashkari's been all over the airwaves. You haven't seen much of Donnelly, but again, Donnelly has a very secure conservative base. He's considered a much more conservative candidate. Although Kashkari's done a good as far as endorsements. He's got Pete Wilson. He's got, you know, Condoleezza Rice, some big endorsements.
Closer to home, we have some hotly contested races. The Deputy DA's office, Dumanis against Bob Brewer. Dumanis vying for re-election, and Brewer giving her a run for her money.
Absolutely. Bob Brewer is a credible candidate, got a great resume, war heroes, done a lot in as a former deputy DA. But here's the thing, you mentioned Brewer and Dumanis. Here's really what's going on in that race. There's a third candidate, a former deputy DA. Most people don't think that she'll finish in the top two spots at all, but does she push into a runoff? That's really what the issue is. If she gets 10 to 15% of the vote, it probably goes into a runoff, and then it's what I call the long hot summer, and Bob Brewer can have a chance to really do a death of a thousand cuts against the incumbent DA. So Bonnie Dumanis' best chance of staying DA is to win it in June. Very possible, but it's going to be very close.
Do you think she can crack that 50% mark?
It's going to be very close. No, right, the way it's looking right now, there's a recent poll showed that she had double digits over her opponent, but again, that's not the issue. It doesn't matter if she gets 49%. If she doesn't get 50% plus one vote, it goes into a November runoff.
50% plus one vote, and this is where voter turnout is crucial.
Well, voter turnout in general, but more specifically, getting your voters out. We used to have a term, an acronym called Get Out the Vote, GOTV. That used to be for Election Day. That no longer applies because 70% of the vote might be in by mail-in ballots. So the Get Out the Vote has been going on for the last several weeks.
Absolutely.
And one last race we also want to mention that's hot at the county level. Talk to us about the clerk's race.
He has three titles: assessor, recorder, county clerk. Been in for 4 years, first term running for re-election. He's got a credible challenger in Susan Quinn. There's a couple others on the ballot. So again, that's a factor. That might go into runoff because of the other candidates. They get a few percentage points, but there's two main candidates. That may push it into a runoff.
And a little bit of controversy in that race with some of the same-sex marriage supporters, right?
That was absolutely controversy, and that's absolutely why that draw some challengers. I've advised the assessor in the past. I'm not currently advising them, but that's absolutely the key in that race. Although the UT editorial, I think, did very well. They hit all the strong points, and they did mention, well, he's made one flub in 4 years, but he's done all these great money-saving things. That's what he's running on.
And real quickly, before we run out of time, the congressional race, Scott Peters and Carl DeMaio.
Again, important to San Diego, that's an understatement, but this is one of the top 5 races nationally, and it will continue to be so in the general. One of the main factors, Peters, an incumbent, DeMaio, good candidate, but one of the main factors in this case is the registration. It is roughly 1/3 Republican, 1/3 Democrat, 1/3 independent. It will always be a swing race.
And that race, a bellwether for November's election. That's what you think?
I think so.
All right,
Very
and here's
good.
all the information you need to know for Tuesday, June 3rd. Get out the vote. Primary election from 7 to 8 o'clock. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you. We appreciate it.